Yeah, it's Victoria. So, this is going to be an introduction or maybe a reintroduction to me and my story. So, I am a 48-year-old trans woman living near Toronto. I'm engaged to a woman named Madison. And I started my transition when I was 42, almost 43. I was married at the time, had two little boys. I think they were 4 and 7 at the time. Um, my ex and I got um, divorced. I moved out by myself and lived for the very first time by myself in an apartment in Richmond Hill, which is just outside of Toronto again. And that was the first time. I was now 43, I think, by this point, living by myself for the first time. So um, I sold my house. I transitioned pretty much right at the beginning of the pandemic. Um, Actually, my first surgery, I had a lot, was April 3rd of 2020. Um, and then I proceeded to have 7 more surgeries within a span of 375 days, or 1 year and 10 days to be exact. Um, and my that surgery was my bottom surgery down there. So I finished all my surgeries and have been living my truth as myself. I have a wonderful relationship with my boys and great friends, and life is great. But life wasn't always great. um, my transition was very tough. I'm sure most people's is. I was very lonely. I was obviously the COVID and the pandemic, and I was living by myself for the first time when everything was shut down. So I was on hormones from July 11th of 2019. It's got a little tattoo there. If you can see it. Anyways, and I was on hormones and I've been on hormones ever since. And life is really wonderful living as myself. I've always been a fitness person. Madison and I started a fitness business where we help trans people match their body as much as they can to their gender. And we also help pre and post op transgender patients with gender affirming surgeries, helping them get ready for surgery and helping them get healthy after surgery. So that's a new initiative we're doing. Yeah, so life has been pretty amazing. I live a very, very full life and 2 dogs and all. So I have a great life and I have a great relationship with my kids now. Um, Beginning of my transition was very tough. I was older, and I thought for sure I was 6'2" and I was 180 pounds of muscle. I might put up a picture here of what I looked like before. I had like a 6 pack and like big arms and all that stuff. My arms are still big, but anyways, yeah. So I was very fit, very like hyper masculine, all of that stuff, and not that I was good at any of the guy stuff, but anyways, um, so I went from a very, I used the mask of my fitness and my size and strength and all that stuff, and suicidal, depressed, right before I transitioned, and then finally realized I was trans, and I was like, oh my god, it was like, oh shit. But what that oh shit was what I knew what was in front of me, the transition that I had to go through. Um, Never worrying about the results, really, always just walking the path of my most authentic self. So that is what I've continued to do. I believe that we are never there. We're always kind of searching for our most authentic selves. Because why? Because we're always evolving. Especially if you actually work on evolving and work on listening to yourself And I'm very good at that. I'm very introspective. I have done a lot of work on myself to make sure that I am living my happiest self and being my most authentic version of myself, and also the kindest and most thoughtful, and the one that is willing to give back as much as possible as well. So that's why we started this business. My partner and I, she is a former fitness model and done a whole bunch of stuff, and so she knows lots of the fitness stuff. So do I, and I definitely know a lot of the transition stuff. So as I did one myself. So yeah. Anyways, so we do this business now where we're really trying to help people feminize their bodies if that's what they choose to do, if they're a trans woman. Also, just to live healthier and happier lives with less medication. And also, we are helping pre and post op trans people get into the right shape for surgery, and so that they can have the least complications out of surgery. And so, we're working on all these things to really kind of give back to our community as well. So, that's my story in a nutshell. I have been on Instagram now for about 4 years. I think I started following Instagram because I actually downloaded it like in 2020, and initially was just following it to follow really pretty Russian models, and then I got rid of all of them, and then I started posting stuff and quickly realized that my story can help other people. So, and that's what I think I continue to do. I would love to be able to help. Um, I know how hard transition is and how lonely it is. And I know that it feels like the world is against us, but I promise you it's not the entire one. We have lots of really good and really wonderful people. And people who are fighting for our rights. And I think that we all do our little part, right, to help. So, with that being said, I'm going to leave a link at the bottom here. So, if you need help with your fitness journey or anything about your trans care, send me a message and I'll get back to you on that. So, with all that being said, I love you guys. Thank you for being such wonderful people on Instagram, and I've had such wonderful experiences there. And toodaloo.